Awesome. Okay, just got a message from Urban that I'm live. Yeah, first of all, thanks everyone for being here, for tuning in virtually. Couldn't actually make it out to Copenhagen, but I'm glad to be able to do this remotely. So here I'll be talking about cross-chain investing. I'll start off a little bit more generic cross-chain DeFi and go into the investing portion. Just a quick intro about me. Name is Kapil. I've been building in Polkadot for about a year now. Before actually delving fully into Web3, my background was in traditional finance, and I think just very naturally DeFi has been a good transition thereafter. But yeah, let's get into it. So first of all, cross-chain DeFi is just pain. DeFi in general already has so many complexities. You have to know the information about all these different types of protocols. You've got lending, you've got staking, you've got LPs, and within LPing into something, you've got all kinds of AMMs. You've got like the standard Uniswap type stuff. You've got V3, V4 that's coming out. You've got stuff like HydraDX's Omnipool, and you have to keep track of impermanent loss, having a dashboard that manages all your investments. It gets complicated. There's a reason why there's so many tools and so many protocols that help people manage that. Once you introduce a cross-chain component, though, it becomes even more difficult. Now you have all these bridges across chain to chain, and the same asset has totally different meanings. So you can have, for example, a token. You can have a wrapped version of that token. You can have that token on a different chain. So it's like the wrapped tokens, the XC tokens. It just becomes a lot to manage. And here I've generally seen there are essentially two buckets of users. Bucket one are the users that are essentially the DeFi degens. These are the pros that have been in DeFi for several years. They know how to navigate things. They know which dApps you have to go to, which bridges you have to navigate to. They kind of have their own system for developing that. Bucket two is by far more common though. Bucket two are the users where they don't know where to start. They don't know really like what the difference is between token A on this chain and the same token bridged on this other chain. They don't know how to manage it. They don't know what these bridges mean. And that's why the vast majority of users you see will just stick to one protocol. They'll just stake DOT, for example, and move on. They don't actually bother with anything else. So let me make that more concrete. Let me give an example of what this actually looks like. And we'll take a case study of trading. So here, let's say you're starting from Glimmer on Moonwell. You've lent through Glimmer into Moonwell, and you want to buy native HydraDX. So in order to do that, you have to jump through several different transactions, several dApps, and it's going to take you literally at least 10 minutes, even if you are that bucket one user. Just to drive that real home, so let's go through each of the steps. So you start off on the Moonwell app. You have your Glimmer, you're trying to withdraw your Glimmer that you've actually lent into that pool. So here you have your Glimmer app, you input how much you're withdrawing to this app. Once you have your Glimmer, you have to actually bridge it over to HydraDX. How do you do that? Before there was an HRMP channel, you actually have to convert it to DOT, move it through the Polkadot relay, and then get into HydraDX. So then you have to go to Stella Swap. So now you've gone to application number 2, swapping into something totally different. Again, bucket one users know that they have to do this. Bucket two is just not even reasonable for them to know that you have to go to DOT to do that. All right, so now you have DOT on Moonbeam. Now you actually have to bridge that over to this new chain. So now you have the power of XEM, but you have to actually use that in an application. So you go to the Moonbeam portal, and the Moonbeam portal lets you bridge from DOT on Moonbeam to Polkadot Relay. So that's what we're doing here. This is transaction number 3. So right now we've paid the swap fee, we've paid now a bridge fee, and now you have DOT on Polkadot Relay. Now the next step is you actually have to move that DOT from Relay chain to HydraDX, the parent chain itself. So that's another bridge. So now you have to pay another bridge cost to be able to do that. But at the end of this, at least you have DOT on HydraDX. And now finally we do the 5th step. So this is the 5th transaction. And again, you've been waiting at least 30 seconds to probably over a minute to do each of these things. And the final step is to actually swap that into HydraDX. So this is swap number 2. So again, 5 different transactions, 5 different dApps, and you're taking 10 minutes just to do what should be relatively seamless. This is the old way of doing things. Bucket 1 users, they know that you have to do these 5 dApps. Bucket 2 users, they have no clue. They wouldn't be able to do it. They'd have a very specific bucket for one HydraDX and a different bucket for Moonbeam. They wouldn't really mix the two. So this is where my first product comes in, PrivaDEX. So this is what I built, launched it in January. It's live at app.privadex.xyz, and it essentially offers you cross-chain swaps in one UI, one app. And this is what it looks like. So here, essentially, it just looks like any normal AMM interface. You just put what token you want on chain A, what token you want to get to on chain B. Click swap. You do one transaction. This is the one app that you have to use, and it will do all those steps for you. So it's a massively different experience than before. Instead of going to 5 different DApps that you have to know beforehand, that only these like DeFi degen pro people will know. You just go to a simple interface that anyone that has done with DeFi, anyone that's used a Uniswap is familiar with this. And again, under the hood, it's using all the Polkadot technology. It's using XDM to actually do the bridges. It's hitting Stella Swap smart contract to actually do the swap. And the best thing is it's all using fat contracts. So it follows computation framework to actually do all these transactions. So it is trustless in that sense that it's a decentralized contract and is doing all these steps for you. So that's how we've improved cross-chain trading. How to investing. So the reality is that most people really consider themselves investors, not really traders. So they're not actually trying to do arbitrage or make money off of price movements in the market. They have some bag of money on crypto and they want to grow them. So in Polkadot, they own DOT, they hold potentially some parachain tokens and the tokens for the projects that they like, and they just want to grow that passively over time. How do you actually do that on a cross-chain basis? So let me give another example here. So here, let's say that first you're doing DOT staking, right? So there are a couple of ways that you can actually do that, but let's say you're going to a nomination pool, you're using the talisman pool in this example, and you go to the DOT staking portal. So here you have to connect your wallet, you have to stake, you can withdraw, you can do all that stuff here. Now, let's say that you are also interested in Bifrost and you want some VDOT or VGlimmer. Then you go to the Bifrost app. So a completely different app, you're on a completely different chain, right? So you have to have your existential deposit, you have to be able to pay gas fees, you have to have tokens on both Polkadot and Bifrost to be able to do this. Let's make it even more interesting. Now you do Moonwell also, using the example from before. And you do Algem. So now Moonwell, Algem, again, now you're active on Moonbeam, you're active on A-Star. When you're DCAing, let's say you do like a bi-weekly DCA or a monthly DCA into your crypto investments, you have to basically move all your tokens into DOT and then bridge them into all these different chains. If you're a centralized exchange or however your onboarding gets you the token on the chain itself, that might help you fix one issue. But honestly, you still have to do a lot of these XCM bridges most of the time. So it's, again, all these different steps that you have to do. And just to keep it even more interesting, let's say you're also interested in Arbitrum. So we did a lot of user interviews, and I think several actually of those people are in the audience right now. But a lot of folks seem to be interested in Polkadot and Arbitrum. So now they really treat those as separate bags. So it's like for your monthly DCA, I will put half of my money into Arbitrum and half of my money into Polkadot. And those really don't mix because bridging from one to the other is just really hard. And this is where Koingaroo comes in. Koingaroo is what we're working on right now, very actively developing this. We're actually in the Moonbeam Accelerator with this project right now. And the idea is you get cross-chain investing in 60 seconds from one application. So let me do another quick case study of what this actually looks like. So again, let's paint this picture of you're very interested in crypto. You take your monthly paycheck and every 2 weeks, you DCA into your investments. And you're active and you're bullish on various of the parachain tokens and certainly DOT, and you go to all these different applications to do it. Actually going from fiat to the different tokens to actually going to the protocols themselves and navigating these bridges, it takes you at least 25 to 30 minutes to do it. That's, again, if you're this bucket one, this degen, this pro who already knows all these different steps. If you're this bucket two type user, realistically, you can't do this. You straight up, there are too many steps. It's too complicated. You don't know how to do it. So then you probably just do one. You might just do the nomination flow staking. Maybe you do that from your Talisman wallet. So here, let me actually jump into a live demo of what this actually looks like. So let's go to the Koingaroo application. Here is what it looks like. me go to the actual live app. Awesome. So here you'll see that I'm logged in. It's my EVM address and substrate address here. Let me just preface this with Koingaroo. All your investments are self-custody. So everything that you're doing, it's going to be done in your own wallet. It's as if, like, for example, if you do dot staking, you can go to the Polkadot staking dashboard and withdraw. And I'll show that in a second. So there are two steps to this right now. One is you can add funds on any token, any chain. So here, let me just connect my wallet. Talisman. So here, let's say that I want to, I've got, let me connect this properly. Screen share makes it a little bit hard to connect wallets. Okay. All right, so here what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some USDC that I have on Arbitrum, and I'm going to deposit this into my Koingaroo balance. So this is going to become investable, which you'll see in the next step. So let's say that I've got 30 USDC on Arbitrum that I want to just bring into Polkadot. So I've gone ahead and confirmed that. That's going to just take a couple of seconds to process. And while that's actually going, let me give another example. So let's say that I'm on Moonbeam now, and I have some Glimmer on Moonbeam that I also want to just add to my investable balance. So here, let's say that I want to add some, I'll just keep this low. So you see that my first balance actually updated. So now I can invest basically $30 more through Koingaroo. And now I'm doing the same thing with Moonbeam. So the idea here is you just need tokens on one chain, right? So if you're an Arbitrum user exclusively, let's say that you just onboarded fiat into Arbitrum, now you can use the tokens there to invest on every single protocol we support. So that includes Polkadot, that includes Moonbeam, that includes A-Star, Bifrost, as well as Arbitrum ZK Sync. You just need tokens on one chain and invest anywhere. And that actually just went through. And in addition to paying with tokens, we also actually recently added, you can use bank card or transfer or Coinbase to onboard fiat more easily. So that's done. So now let's actually go back to the homepage. You can see that, okay, now I can actually invest more through my Koingaroo balance. And now let's go to the invest page. So here the idea is that we want to simplify how you invest on multiple protocols simultaneously. We'll batch the transactions, we'll parallelize them. At this point, we don't even need the user sign any transactions. So far from going to all these different protocols and doing these bridges, the user goes to 0 bridges, now signs 0 transactions, and everything is going to be done simultaneously. So here, we recently added ZK Sync support. So let me just do one of those arbitrarily. Let's do something on Arbitrum, and let's definitely do some native staking on Moonbeam. Let's do some Algem. We'll do nomination pool, and I'm on the Talisman pool right now, so I'll add to that. And let's even do some Bifrost. So here, again, we're doing multiple strategies on multiple different chains. And the next step is all we have to do is allocate funds to each. So now let's say that it's all going to withdraw from my Koingaroo balance. Let's say I want to do $3 here. I want to do, let's just keep it low, $2 there, $4 here. Let's do something arbitrary here. Oops. And here. So here, I'll click submit in just a second, and all these transactions will go through. Before I do that, let me just kind of show you my current position. So here, I've connected my wallet. So again, this is a purely self-custody solution. You'll see that I've bonded 5.45 DOT in this pool. And here, let me connect my wallet. All right. Yeah, and here you'll see that I've got 722 A-Star through Algem. So let me click submit here. And we're just waiting for basically one block to happen. So my balance after this is going to be down to $39. Again, here I signed 0 transactions. All these transactions are being signed on my behalf. And at the end of the day, I'll hold these investments in my wallet. So let me just give this a couple of seconds for it to get processed. Okay, and that's done. So at this point, and I'll show you on those applications in just a second, all the investments, we are operating on 5 or 6 different chains at this point, 7 different protocols, all of that is done. So let me go to the, not here. So you'll see dot staking. Initially, I had bonded around 5 point something dot. That's jumped up to 7.44. Again, more in this talisman pool. Now, if I go to, I can't actually click on this because the Zoom window is here. Yeah, so if I go to the algebra map, wait for this to load. Yeah, so it's at 722, jumped up to 856. And everything is done from this application. You can see the block explorers right here. And I won't actually bother clicking through those just for sake of time. But here, when I actually want to go back and see what I've done, I've got a whole summary right here. So I can see that these are all the different strategies that I invested in, the block explorer and the DApp link. Ultimately, again, self-custody investing in 60 seconds. I'll largely just leave it off there. I want to leave some time for Q&A. Would love to get some thoughts.
Thank you so much. I think we don't have any questions. Can you actually hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Thank you so much for your time. That was wonderful. I'm glad you were able to participate even though you're not here.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
My pleasure. Oh, no, wait, don't go. Are you still here?
Okay, I'm here, yeah.
We do have a question. I take it back. Okay, we're coming with the microphone so that you can hear this person.
Thank you so much. Really nice solution, actually. I was wondering, are you intending supporting other chains? I see you have Arbitrum. That's so it means any assets on Ethereum can easily be pulled over, right?
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, for context, we launched our very initial product, Polkadot only, about 6 weeks ago. We kept that going for 2.5 weeks. Then a lot of the folks we talked to are interested in Arbitrum, already invest in Arbitrum. So that's why we expanded Arbitrum. That took 5-6 days. And frankly, with that framework on EVM chains, we added support for ZK Sync in another 2 days. So adding new chains actually with our current framework is very easy. So we're going to add more tokens that we support and more protocols.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Take care.